Hello everybody, welcome to another webinar by Dexma. Good morning, good afternoon, depending from where you're joining us today. We're going to be introducing this new webinar regarding the main 5 reasons on why we think you should become a Dexma partner. Here's an overview of the agenda that we're going to go through today. As you'll see, there's going to be a very brief introduction on Dexma, the company, what we do and how do we do it. We're going to follow up with the main 5 reasons on why you should become a Dexma partner. We're going to go through it through the partner program itself real quick as well for you to know everything that's included on this set partnership. And we're going to end up with a little session of Q&A for you to trespass to us any question or doubt that you may have. You may be able to do that during the whole presentation. Just feel free to register any question that you may have, and we'll try to address them all at the very end of the session. All right, I'm Guillermo Sanz, Channel Development Manager of Dexma. I'm going to be with your main host for the webinar today. Right. So beginning with the company introduction. Right. Our main activity, what Dexma focuses on, is providing an energy management software. That's the software tool that we provide to you for corporate, commercial, public administration, and industrial sectors. So it's basically the software what we specialize on providing. This software is a cloud-based energy management analytic software that one of its main features is that we remain hardware neutral. This meaning that we do not oblige you to use any specific hardware, but you may use any device of your convenience. The main goal of what this tool has been conceived for is to reduce your energy use and cost and that of your customers. How do we do that? Through continuous monitoring, analytics, and so on. How do we offer this to the market? Well, we do it through a network of global partners that is composed currently by more than 195 companies worldwide, most of them being energy services companies, ESCOs, integrators, and VRAs. We have several recommendations and recognitions and mentions from top researchers, and we have been currently awarded the 3rd best software in energy management software by its customer reviews in Capterra. Right. So these are just a few examples of the markets and customers that we address. As you can see here, these are some of the end users using our tool. You may recognize here a few brands. It's basically any sector or company with a decent or high energy consumption that they're going to try to look to reduce that in any way possible. An overview of how we are worldwide. Well, we're headquartered in Barcelona. That's where from where we're transmitting today, but we have a global presence in more than 30 countries currently, and as you can see, we're quite well spread out throughout the globe, so we are able to have a global presence as of today. We try to and keep on working on developing that and further expanding our works. So currently, where are we at? We're at over 900 end customers using the platform. Through how do we reach those customers? That is through the 195 partners that are already working with us. We are able to cover the 5 global regions and over 30 countries. You may see your country here represented. In case it is not, well, we are always looking to expand that. And because of the software is precisely so used to working in an international environment, that is a feature that we can easily adapt to work in as many countries as possible, even if we haven't worked with them before. In terms of the language, right now we have it translated to more than 12 languages, and it's quite easy and simple to translate to a new one if that was necessary. From here, an interesting note would be the number of hardware vendors that we're integrated with, counting over 80 of them at the moment. That's how we adapt, and we try to remain flexible to obtain readings from as many energy sources as possible, right? At the end, it is our intention to collect data, and we're aware that we need to collect data from different devices. So we try to be as flexible in order of integrations as possible. Now, the energy management value chain. Well, we have to remember what Lord Kelvin said, that you cannot manage what you don't measure. How do we intend to manage this energy consumption? Well, there's the whole energy management value chain, which has a start in a more, say, standard sort of way, which would be through bill tracking and validation. That's what everybody has or should have as of today. You receive your monthly energy bill, you get a description on what your expenses are, and you get an idea on how you're spending your energy and how much does that hurt your pocket. From that, if you want to go into more detail, you can go to fiscal metering. That's going to the fiscal meter, the main meter at your installation or your customer's installations, and monitoring that, seeing exactly for yourself how you're consuming, and usually it's used a quarter or hourly frequency to know what your consumption is like. You can always compare that to what you're being billed for and see if that is currently the energy that you're using or if there's any difference there. But that, of course, will always give you a little bit more detail. However, this will bring a quite general picture, and you'll need to get into more detail. You'll do that through monitoring and targeting, going to sub-consumptions, and within such as electricity, gas, and water, which will help you at the end. At the end, will help you to go to get a better idea on how you're consuming. Besides this monitoring and targeting, you can go in a little bit deeper through analytics and benchmarking. Once you go into sub-metering, for instance, you take electricity expenses and you go deeper. How am I consuming in terms of lighting? How am I consuming in terms of HVAC? This level of detail will help you work through your consumption to identify where you're having peaks that you should not be having and how can you reduce them. Now, once you've figured all of that, what you're going to want to do is to set up a number of alarms and reporting that will automatically do the work for you. This you'll have to set up once, and once it's set up, it will keep alerting you on when there is a consumption that there shouldn't be, and it will keep sending you daily, weekly, or monthly reports for you to stay up to date and to know that your consumption is as it should be. Now, all of this will bring you much higher control on what's going on in your installations at whichever level you may wish to proceed. Usually, initially, you want to focus more on fiscal metering and go into a little bit more depth as you gain some experience, right? How do you manage all of this? Well, you do that through Dexma Energy Manager. That's our software. You use this energy management software to control all of that. And you'll do it as well using hardware and communications. Now, for that, we integrate with a number of manufacturers. You may see here some brands that you may recognize, and that's how the whole process and the whole chain is established, right? Now, these would be, again, some examples of the supported hardware vendors that we have. And this would be it for the company presentation. We would be moving into the 5 key or main reasons on why we think you should become a Dexma partner, right? Again, feel free to ask any questions at any time, and we will review them at the end of the session. Now, the main reasons to become a Dexma partner. Well, we've listed here the 5 of them. First off, we have experience on over 1,000 projects on energy efficiency. This doesn't necessarily make us an expert on the matter, but it does bring us a number of experience and different activities that we've been through our partners, including tender processes, helping a customer to start from the ground up, from 0 to 100, and go through all that process together with our partners. This brings us a little bit more light to help you at whatever stage you are, even if you're just starting up or you're in a more advanced position, you may already have a system in place, but you may wish to change that. Well, we're going to be able to cover all those different necessities that you may have through this continuous experience that we have in over more than 5 years. This, at the end, is what we're going to bring us, we think is going to bring us an added value, and we can trespass that knowledge into you. Now, another aspect on why we think this is another key reason on why you should partner up with us is the lead generation process. Well, As you are here today, it's probably through direct or indirect marketing resources that have been rightfully spent, and we've managed to generate a number of opportunities, this being with partners or this being with end customers. Sometimes we have end customers curious on knowing how they could reduce their energy expense and looking forward to see how they may do that. So they may try to think, all right, we inform ourselves, we see that there are softwares out there, let's try to get a hold of them. Now, what do we do when we get an end customer like that? Well, we will analyze that opportunity and send it over to a partner. Now, this is what we call lead generation. We bring those opportunities up to our partners, depending on the type of lead that it is, and depending on the partner, the territory, and the experience that it has. So you may also benefit from this relation on getting new opportunities for you to develop, both with our software and with your services as well. Another main reason would be the multi-vendor and higher level of integration that we have. Also through experience, as we mentioned earlier, on over 80 hardware vendors, that has allowed us to gain an idea on how to integrate, how to do the process more smoother for you and for your customer, and how to reach or get to some systems that to read information out of them that up until now it was not an option for you or for your customer. Another main reason would be the worldwide support that we can offer. Besides from us itself, Dexma, we may and sometimes do rely on our partners as well for some different projects. So we have been performing over the years some joint projects together, joining up different partners from different regions to cover up global projects. Now, you may think that if you're in an early stage or you wish to just begin right now, this would not apply to you. But in terms of, or as we see these advances, a customer that you encounter today or tomorrow in your local territory may be a big customer that has also presence over nationwide or worldwide companies and territories, and you may wish to develop, you may have to end up developing your services to cover the other branches that they may have worldwide. Now, for that, it may be one option for you to do it yourself, but relying on the experience of other partners similar to you may be also a good thing for you. So that is also a worldwide support that we think is important, apart, of course, of the support that we offer ourselves. And the last one would be the customization. We're going to go into a little bit more depth in all of them, just quite quickly for you to review them. So the experience that we were mentioning earlier, how do we trespass that to you? What's the process behind it? Well, as you join in as a new partner, what you get as a first stop would be an onboarding process. This takes from 1 up to 2 weeks or three weeks sometimes, in which we cover up the main aspects on what you're looking for to gain from this partnership and how we may be able to help you deliver that, right? So this would be an initial session with one of our technicians and the technical team to establish a set of goals that you may wish to accomplish. Now, we will use our own experience to try to deliver on those goals and give you an assessment on how we think you may be able to do that. Now, for those of you that are maybe new with the matter, okay, perhaps you're in the energy sector, but you're focusing on solar or I don't know, thermal energy or other factors, and this may come as something new to you. So you may be wondering, okay, how do I get up to speed on this matter? Well, we have already developed the Dexma Energy Academy, in which we need all of the new partners, and we will end up being the main users of the account to get certified on it, for you to gain the experience necessary to be able to develop new opportunities, new customers, set up new locations for your own end users. And for you to have all that experience, we have created this Energy Academy. This has a different number of videos and video tutorials in terms of content, and a number of tests as well that you may have to go through. And now this becomes quite useful for you to be the most autonomous as possible in terms of going through the work that you may need to implement for your customers. If you go to a customer and you need something done by yesterday, you will not need to rely so much on us if you're, say, acknowledged enough in the software and you're able to do it by yourself, which we believe is always a better option. Of course, we're always here to help you, but we think this proposition or this way of working would be more beneficial. Now, apart from the onboarding, or as a final touch of the onboarding, there's a strategic development going in place as well. This will be more technical or strategical and commercial development that we go through together with you. And it's a session that we established to make a recap of the whole onboarding process, see where you are at, that you have already completed the courses on the academy. And once those goals that we set up initially in the onboarding, how do we need to start working on developing them, and what would be the first steps necessary? Do you need some help in a specific project? How can we, I don't know, perhaps you're wondering what you should be covering or what you should be measuring in terms of what to add to the software, what not to add. Well, we will start from the first minute to work together with you and be able to deliver on all of that. Now, the part on the lead generation, those opportunities, how are they sent over to you? How do you get them? How do you access them? Well, it's not common for us to offer an opportunity sometimes to more than one partner or in more than one territory. We may find ourselves in tenders that involve the services of different partners, and each partner is very individually different and providing a set of services that are always sort of unique. So our way of registering all of this and making this available to you would be one channel, which is the partners intranet. You'll have access to this once you become a partner, and you'll be granted access to some exclusive content that is not available for non-partners. Some of it being a very easy to use web shop for you to get any product that you may need to install in your customers, that being a data logger or a device to an energy meter that you may need. You're going to be able to buy it yourself of course, a reasonably good price, since we work with many hardware companies. You'll be able to purchase those devices and get them sent over to you easily, and you can do that through your own computer, so that's going to be convenient for you. Over there, you're going to find a different set of webinars. Apart from the webinars and the case studies that are on the website, we have more specific, say, materials and content that is available for partners only. So this will also give you a competitive advantage if you want to use more, say, a special module on the tool, perhaps the measurement and verification to verify how the savings are taking process within your customers' installations. You may wish to expand your knowledge in that. You want to perhaps check out the webinar on measurement and M&V projects, measurement and verification. This is something that only partners have. Or you may need some presentations to send over to a tender for which you need the technical details on the software. This is something that you will have. And additionally to all that, you will have the lead and deal registration forms. This is for you to register your own deals so that we are aware of who you're talking to and what projects are you pursuing, in terms of if the customer comes back to us and says, hi Dexma, I'd like to start saving, we're going to be aware that you're already working with them, and we're going to directly send them over to you in a quite, I don't know, in a polite way, for them to know that we're working exclusively with you in this customer, and that and try to give you an added value on that. Of course, any new leads we will also be registering through the intranet for you to access and be able to set up an offer and try to gain that new opportunity. So this is a useful tool for you. In the terms of the multi-vendor and integrations, well, it's basically what we said before. More than 80 hardware vendors in the moment. We can integrate with different SCADA systems and VMS platforms, and we do that using the development of our brand new API, the application programming interface that is quite developed. We used to talk to different systems and softwares to gain the information and exchange it in the most efficient and fastest way possible, right? So this gives us a lot of flexibility to integrate with different parties. Of course, all of that experience has come going over hundreds and thousands of installations locally with our partners and seeing what hardware works best with what type of installations. And for that, we were able to give you direct recommendations. So we believe this is important as well. In terms of the support, as we were saying, we have the Dexma head office. You will be included a number of hours depending on the type of partnership that you will pursue in terms of hotline support, that you're going to be able to call Dexma and get your question solved in a pretty fast way, apart of course from an unlimited access to support by email. Now, the 30 plus countries where we have partner presence is where you can use those partners to help you on any project or any local deployment that you may need. So feel free to use that. We can put you in touch with the right person and we can do the introductions for you. Something that we're used to doing and that we believe can bring you an added value as well, to talk to a former or a colleague of yours that's going to speak the same language as you do. And now we provide also from our technicians and our support department a number of webinars to introduce in a much friendlier way any new development that we are doing to the tool. Perhaps in this case is represented on the right, the set of custom reporting feature that was introduced earlier this year, in which you may know how to develop specific reports for your customers or custom reports. This brings us to the last feature, which would be customization. We all know that good and well-looking software can be of great use for you, but we know as well the added value that it will have to have it branded as your own. So this is also an option that we offer to our partners. You to be able to go and present the solution to your customer with your brand on it and making it look as it was your own. Of course, this is something that we think it's necessary. We have adapted to that to be able to do that, and we find a very high number of partners using this feature. Other part of that customization is the energy app market. We always say that in any project, any customer that you may have, we're in a maximum level, we're going to be able to reach 80% of their needs, because each customer wants to be a little bit more special than the other, and we'll have a specific development needed that our tool, as it is, will not be able to cover. How do we reach that 100% of your needs, and how do you make sure your customers that your tool or your company is going to deliver? Well, we may do that through the app market, which is going to be able to let you or third companies develop specific applications, and through those apps you're going to be able to set up a specific process that's going to interact with the core of the software of the tool as it is right now to develop a new feature. This of course is and can be limitless for you to develop anything that you may think it's going to be interesting for your customers. You may share those applications later and sell them to the partners, or you may keep them to yourself if you think that's something that you want to keep from the rest of them. Of course, the development that we do through our API lets us connect and create those new apps in a much faster way, and it's going to be really easy for you to set up a new development working in a different servers being hosted outside Dexma, but interacting quickly and in terms of real time practically with the software tool. Right, so that was pretty much it in terms of the main reasons on why we think it's important or it's could be interesting for you to become a partner. What we're going to do now is go through real quick the partner program for you to see what it includes being a Dexma partner and how you can benefit from it, right? So basically, what does it mean? What's the partner program? How are the relationships set up within Dexma, you and your customer? So we see Dexma doing the main channel recruiting, looking over for new partners, training the partners that we gain, presenting case studies, providing a number of materials for you to use, and doing sales enablement, anything that's going to help you sell any more product or any new features that you may need, right? So that's going to come from Dexma. What we find in the other side, in the partner side, on your side, are different companies that may be focusing on consulting for projects, doing project management, deployment and installations, being the energy manager outsourced of a set company, or doing ESCO's contract, in which you provide some sort of guarantees, financial guarantees of savings that the customer is going to account for, and that's going to be how you're going to establish that project through an ESCO model, financing the cost of the whole project in terms of the savings that you're going to later generate for them. So being these the main profiles that we encounter, the relationship is going to be from Dexma to the partner and from the partner to Dexma. It's never going to be Dexma to the customer, to the end user. It's going to be always you, the partner, who's going to deal with your own customers and who's going to try to attend their needs and look for to cover up any necessities that they may encounter. What happens, however, when some sort of, let's say, a curious customer tries to look for a software tool for themselves, and they try to generate, because they're looking to generate savings, they may end up coming to us. So what we do, once Dexma receives that lead, that opportunity, we're going to qualify it. We're going to see what the customer is looking for, if we're able to provide it, and how. And we're going to send that lead, do a lead distribution to one of our partners. Now, we may do that in terms of different partner level that you may be, being that silver or gold, and in terms of the activities that you generate. If you focus on the industrial sector, we may know that that industrial lead would be better for you. Or if it's a services company with many different branches and you're more specified towards that, we will direct that lead towards the best fit on our partners. And this is a scenario that we encounter more often than we may think. So we believe it's a key feature for you to take into account, the number of new business that we can bring for you. Right. So this would be the relationship map of this partnership. Now, the different categories and what it includes. So we find 3 basic levels of partnerships, these being silver, gold, and platinum. The platinum category is more, sort of defined for hardware companies that may want to use our software on top of their devices, or utility companies that want to use our software to be able to offer to their customers the tracking of their consumption, or to just huge ESCO companies that have whole departments dedicated on their firms to energy efficiency. As you may see, the number of hours and users that it includes is much higher than the other ones. So the most 2 common partnerships, the categories that we find, or the partner profiles, are the silver and the gold partner. Now, the main difference between both of them, as you may see, the silver partner, if we focus on the first one, has, of course, access to the partner internet and has a more limited number of marketing features, such as presence in the Dexma partner page, but without a logo. It doesn't get automatic and direct lead generation and distribution. We believe that is something more left out for the gold partners. It doesn't have the option to get a branding. So it would be, in terms of outlining it, a more basic partnership, which will allow you to use our software and to sell it to your customers. But this is usually going to be a partner that has a specific requirement for 1 or 2 customers, but is not really committed into going for a high number of projects together with us, but instead just wants to attend some needs. It may be that this profile changes over the time, and you want to become a gold partner, increasing the number of hours and the number of technical support that you may be getting, because that's where, again, you see there's another difference in terms of the hours that you get of hotline phone support. The silver partnership is a bit more reduced, and the users that you get for the training as well. So if you want to upgrade that to gold, you can always do that at any specific point. The same goes from a partnership from gold to platinum. You just have to add up with the difference between both levels. Now, for all what we've been discussing up until now, we envision this partnership to have a setup fee. All right. This is a fee that you have to pay once to become a Dexma partner to get access to this program, and that you don't have to pay any other years after that, right? The main idea here is that we want to dedicate our time to you, either being a silver or a gold partner, for you to be able to sell our product in the right way, and for you to be able to use it to maximize your time and be the most efficient possible, and to generate those savings to your customer. So this investment of time from our end has a direct cost on our support team, on our technical team. And we want to translate that cost to our partners. So the way that we do that is we have a setup fee for each partner category. Now for the silver partner, that setup fee is of 3,000 euros, all right? You pay that amount once and you become a Dexma partner for life. For the gold partner, that's 5,000 euros that you pay initially. Now this will be returned to you, of course, in discounts on any software that you end up purchasing from us. The silver partner will have a 20% discount, while as the gold will have a 30% discount. So you'll end up getting your money back at the same time that you're going to be getting very valuable information on these first steps of your partnership, for you to be able to gain more projects and to access a little bit, to have more faster access to those customers, right? So these would be the main categories that we oversee and what each one of them offers. Now this presentation will be sent to you after the webinar, so you'll be able to keep that data and information on your own. In case you have any questions around this, you can always make them available to us right now at the end of the presentation, or you can translate them to us through email and our standard contact, say, forms. So basically what we recommend after that would be for you to take a look at the software if you haven't done it already. You can register for free at get.dexmatech.com/free-demo. So if you direct yourself to this hyperlink, you'll be able to access the tool, get the look and feel of it, and try the software for your own. And we recommend you to do that for you to get a grasp on what tool you would be working for and working with if you'd be a Dexma partner. Now, this was pretty much it for today. What we envision next would be a quick turn of questions and answers. We will try to address all your questions right now in this session. In case we're not giving you a direct answer today or at this moment, we would be addressing that on a one-to-one or an individual way for us to cover it in the easiest way as possible. We hope you found this webinar today interesting, and we look forward to having you as partners and to connecting with us in the next sessions that we will be establishing both for partners and for non-partners. So feel free to connect with us directly or to keep our contact details for any questions that you may have, and we look forward to answering you right now. We're going to have a brief pause for you to let all of you formulate your questions. All right, see you in a bit.